Welcome into the inaugural recording of Kelly and Crack. You guys know I'm Kelly in Vegas. You know the man with the cap. That is Bill Krackomberger. He has been one of my favorite people since I moved to Las Vegas. Crack, I always see you at the Superbook. Always got tickets in hand, fanny pack full of cash, driving around, making bets. For anybody who doesn't know who you are and hasn't watched the show Action with you and I from a few years back, tell everybody who you are, what you do for a living.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Kelly, for that nice introduction. First off, let me ask you before I give my introduction, when did you first move to Vegas? Around 2004 or something like that?
Oh, I'm not that old.
Oh,
But
2007?
yeah,
8?
2007. After
Okay.
college, I moved to Vegas. I lived there for almost 15 years. It was a great run. And then once the legalization opened up in other places, I decided, hey, you know what? There's other places I can be. It's time for a change. We all know with you, you're always either in New Jersey, down here in Florida, Vegas. You're all over the place making bets.
Well, yeah. So I am a professional gambler, of course. I started making bets around 30 years ago with some of the original first offshore sports books. There was a place called Rick's. There was a place in uh, literally Margarita Island and Costa Rica. Didn't even start yet. I was making deposits and being a little wise guy trying to middle and scalp. And that's what I did. I middled and scalped, got bonuses from casinos and sports books, and eventually was able to quit my jobs. I worked very many jobs. Oh my God. No one has worked. Kel, I bet you didn't even know how many jobs I've had. And in my lifetime, I've done everything from when I was a little kid, working on the boardwalks in the Jersey Shore, working in arcades, I worked in a car wash when I was 15 years old. I always hustled, always made money. I was in cemetery sales. That's right, cemetery sales. You probably didn't even know. And I met someone in Atlantic City that changed my life at the old Golden Nugget, not the one that's there now, the old one that on the water there. And he changed my life literally. And he showed me positive gambling, middling and scalping, sending money to different sports books, making money. And listen, I wouldn't have it any other way. But yet, you'll be surprised to know here in 2025. I wouldn't recommend it for kids. If I had a child, I wouldn't recommend sports betting for him. It's that much harder now than it was when I first was in here. When I first, we had me and my partner Frank, we did our own power ratings, our own power rankings. The internet was just coming out. It was talked about. So we made a lot of money doing that. But however, through those connections and through the internet opening, I was writing for a site called the RX.com. I started writing for a guy named Ken Weitzner, who's now since passed. And that opened doors, opened avenues. It opened avenues with Billy Walters. I could say it now. Ken introduced me to Billy. That's how I originally met Billy Walters and worked with him for many, many years. Good guy. A lot of people don't, some people don't like Billy Walters. They're just either they're jealous or mad or upset at their own lives. He's one of the most generous guys in the world. Gave away hundreds of thousands of dollars in charities right in front of me, and just help people in general. So, worked for Billy. I actually worked for some groups that I'll never even talked about. Maybe one time I told people about Doyle Brunson and Chip and Doyle. They were big poker players back in the day. They also had a great baseball program, Totals. They killed it for 2 seasons. They only worked really with me for 2 seasons. I think they only did it for 3, and they made a ton of money and got out. I worked with them. The great Harlabos Vulgaris. I moved his college basketball for a couple of years. I'm sorry, his NBA basketball for a couple of years. Worked with some of the greatest groups of all time. There's even some more after them. These newer groups that are out now, they're more of the quiet type. They wouldn't do good on socials. They wouldn't do good talking on a show, but they are some of the most unbelievable analytical guys out there. And that's what I do now. I work with the sharpest groups, the sharpest syndicate groups. I bet here in Vegas legally with the books. Thank God these books take bets off me. And I say these books, I'm going to give you the books, the Win, the Westgate Circa, and Win, Westgate Circa, and South Point. So they give me some really good limits and stuff. And my home court, though, is definitely Westgate. Absolutely love the Superbook. Once you go into the Westgate and walk through those doors for the first time, people go, "Oh my God!" I mean, those screens, the atmosphere, the big plushy seats. You know,
Crack, and it's smoke free. I know it sounds so crazy to be like a
smoke free.
Karen like that, but I
No,
love that I don't sit in there and just want to just suffocate in the amount of cigarette smoke. You're in there, you're having a great time, cheap beers, good drinks, good
yes.
viewing.
I forgot about smoke free. It's important for me. I can't be around smoke. Even though I grew up with some old school parents that knock around parents where they grew up, you know, in the Bronx, you have to smoke when you're a kid. So they smoked, and I understand that we're in a different time now. Less people smoke, and they found out how bad smoking was for you. But you're right. That's a big part of it. But you know, going into the Westgate though, and being able to just go in there and film, it's such a pleasure that you can just go in there and film things. You know, some of these casinos you have to go through compliance and
Oh
people
yeah.
that are paid to say no. Casinos are scared to death for you to film anything. Things have changed though. They've kind of loosened up a little bit, casinos, but the Westgate, they love having filming in that Superbook. So that's what we do. I know you do another show with John Murray over there, and I terrorize John all the time. I think I don't mean to jump around here, but I think I told you I really terrorized him a couple weeks ago. He was on
What did you
vacation.
do?
Oh my God, poor John. Yeah, I was on. He was on vacation. I wanted to get down some good money on a bet, and I gave it out on WagerTalk after it was the matter of fact, it's right here. So just to show you guys the tickets. So I wanted to bet 5,000 on the Rams not to make the playoffs, plus 165. Had some good information on the quarterback, and I just thought that the Rams aren't going to be as good this year. So I went in there, and you can see there's my $5,000 bets there, 2,000 and 3,000. So the reason why it's 2,000 and 3,000 is I went there to bet five, and John was on vacation. He said, "Yeah, you're good." I went to the counter, and they didn't give it to me, but they actually wound up giving me the 5,000 though. But I'm texting John, they only gave me two. Oh, go back up to the counter. Like, you know, the
I
trials
have
and
a feeling you and I
tribulations.
might be his worst nightmare. Like I'm already texting him about our survivor entry. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. You're already texting him about wanting to get down more bets after he said yes. Maybe he was on vacation. It slipped his mind. He didn't tell the people in the back.
Cal, I
I,
don't think he likes me, Cal, to be honest with you. I shouldn't say that on on a
oh, you
show.
stop.
I don't, you know what it is? It's tough to put up with someone like me. I'm demanding large bets. All I want is what everyone else gets in the public. It's tough to put up with someone like myself. Now, I'm nice. I tip everybody. Listen, tipping's a big part with me. I love when I deposit money in an app. I throw them $5 or $10. When I withdraw, I make sure I throw them 20 or 40. I mean, when I win bets, you have to take care of the tellers, take care of people. You know, just the way I feel. You got
I
to
know
take care of people.
you're not a big drinker, but same thing. When
No.
you're sitting in the book, you hit a winning bet, tip your waitress a little extra, tip your
Yes.
bartender a little extra. You get some of those free drink tickets,
Yeah.
especially over there at the Superbook. They're always generous with those. Make sure that you're throwing down a little extra for the other people working their asses off too.
Yeah. You don't drink no more, right? You stopped drinking, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Had to do that. Hey, Cal, over my shoulder here. I never say this, but I know we're doing sports betting stuff. See that apple right there?
Yeah.
That was on Frank Sinatra's desk every day. He moved the apple around, and I love Frank Sinatra. Someone just gave me the apple. He worked for Frank for 15 years, and I just see it in the background there.
That's awesome.
People see the apple. It was actually holding up his mail every day. Every day he was moving it around because it held up his mail in New York over at the where he stayed at the Ritz. But anyway, just something I seen in the background there. I figured I'd
Such a
throw it
great
out.
iconic piece. Crack, let's get into what you got going on over at wagertalk.com. So happy you joined us for this football season. You joined back in March, had a nice run during March Madness. We got through baseball season. It was a rough one for
Yeah,
me, but now we're in
everybody.
the NFL season. Right now you have 7 NFL futures up at wagertalk.com. You just mentioned Rams not to make the playoffs plus 165, which I'm with you here. I think the rest of the NFC West is going to take a step forward. I personally bet the 49ers 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. But you have another bet that I want to talk about up there
All right.
for premium clients, wt.buzz/Krackman. You guys want to go to his Wager Talk page. Bears under 8.5 wins. Now, you do a show called Wisecracks at the Westgate every single Thursday. Your producer is John Hoagland, who also is my producer on the Kelly and Murray show. He's a huge Bears fan. He thinks that I am a Bears hater. Caleb Williams, second year. Ben Johnson coming over from the Detroit Lions. I am so happy you're on this under with me.
Yeah, not a popular one though, because I know some other sharp guys just one guy that's on the over there. I still like my under. Listen, you get built-in value here in Vegas too. unbelievably, people don't realize this. Vegas is a Chicago town. The Bears,
Wow.
literally the Bears, the White Sox, all the Cubs, they get bet every year. The sports books
Huh.
are in anticipation of taking Chicago bets. So they actually skew the number a little bit towards everyone betting over. So they actually pump it up a little bit. And that's why I went in this year and I found some really good numbers on the Bears under 8.5. I also made a bet I didn't give out there. I bet the Bears not to make the playoffs. I think that's also a good bet. And guess what? These numbers are still available. So if first of all, you have to be sharp. You have to have more apps than just one place. Even my friends, some of my friends that are back home, and I can't believe I have this kid I know in Yonkers for years. I know him 100. You say 100. It's not really 100, but I know the guy 40 years. He has one betting app in New York. I said, "Are you out of your mind? What are you doing?" And you know why? To be real blunt, these kids have no self-control. I say kids. He's my
Yeah,
age.
well,
He has no self-control, Kel. He doesn't even bet with a post-up book because he's betting on credit with a local guy. Like they can't. But I'm trying to tell him you have to have more outs than one. You have to have more decisions. Like perfect example, you can bet the Bears not to make the playoffs at one place and 40 cents difference at a different place because maybe they have so much money on the Bears at their shop. So have multiple shops and you could still find these bets. Bears to not make the playoffs and Bears under season wins. I really like that, like I said. So I didn't even know you were on it till today.
yeah, I was happy. I logged into the WagerTalk back end. You have 7 NFL futures. We just gave out 2 of them. And you and I are in lockstep on a few. So that makes me very, very happy. Crack, when you go into making some of these futures bets, what are the groups that you're moving looking for? Are they looking to arbitrage, as you mentioned, finding that 40-cent variance? Are they looking to take a stand and have a certain opinion on a game? Kind of talk to me about their process here.
Good question. I'm glad you asked it too. Zero, and I mean zero arbitrage has been done for me over the last, I'm going to say even, I don't want to say 2 decades, but a decade plus. I built up a bankroll in the 90s, early 2000s, 2002, 2003. That was over. Now I just want to get the most money I can down on the bad side, which I consider the wrong side. There's no middling and scalping going on with me and any of my groups. We're trying to get down as much as we can. You have to remember now. So when I bet literally 5,000 on something there, I have to literally give that particular bet. I only have 2 dimes on that. I gave 3,000 of that away to the guy that actually gave it to me. So you have to $2,000. Think about that. So a $2,000. If I am the sharpest guy out there and have a 10% edge, which I don't, it's more like it's upwards of 5 though. A 5. But let's say I have a 10% edge. For every $1,000 bet, that means $100 is only coming home. About $100 in profit. So for a $2,000 bet, it's $200 in profit. Like I said, it's probably more like half of that. So I have to get down so much volume. A $10,000 bet to me is not $10,000. It actually is equal to about $400 to $500 of expected win on my end. So when it sounds like I'm betting so much money and I'm crazy on this and that, the ROI is only 4 or 5% on the return, and that's on a good day. That's on a good day. I'm happy with 2.5%, 2% on volume. So, but these guys that I deal with 3 different groups, and one of them, literally, I think is the sharpest NFL guy in the world. I think his props are without a doubt the sharpest, and I won every season on them. And him himself, that's all he does. It's all he does all day long is sit by the computer and look at different things. He's a reader too, so he goes by almost like the old school everyone's newspaper from their hometown. Well, now it's really the beat reporters from their home team. But you have to know the right beat reporters to get. You don't just get generic beat reporters who talks about multiple teams. You want to get one. This guy lives in Green Bay, and all he focuses on is Green Bay. Or he lives in Chicago. That's all he focuses on is the Bears, or whatever it may be. And we've done really well following these beat reporters. And that's why, you know what, though? When these people are working 9 to 5 and out there working 10, 12 hours a day so hard, they come home, you don't have time to handicap games and, go off feel and read. Let me tell you something. Going off a feel and a gut instinct and a read, that doesn't get the money. It may have some fun with it, but it doesn't get the money. You better not be betting no serious money. You will go broke. So why not have us, have me, have my team at your back with WagerTalk stuff?
Yep, I agree with you. Crack, One of the things that I thought was really prolific is when we first started being friends, we met through my girlfriend Blakely. Blakely and I worked at a Vegas nightclub together. I was already in sports betting. We were at the clubhouse at the Westgate Superbook. You come by. I finally got to meet you. This is way before we did action. Like I'm talking 2014, 2015, like early on. And I remember kind of talking with you, and Blakely's like, Crack, give me a winner. And you look at her and you're like, Blakely, I got 9 bets today.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, just give
It's
me one. And I look at her and I go, Blakely, you can't just bet one.
good for you.
Sure enough, what did we do? You said, all right, here's one bet for you. She goes up and puts $110 to win $100, comes back. And I go, Blakely, I like the other side of that. And she's like, that's fine. Crack wins. And I go, I know Crack wins, but you just cherry picked one game out of 9. And I remember she was pissed. It lost, of course. Yeah. It was probably one of the only games I got right on that NFL Sunday, but it was one of those interesting things. So when you've got 7 NFL futures out there, right now you've got 2 college football plays all ready for college football week 2. I know you're going to have some props and some other stuff put up on the WagerTalk free picks page. Kind of let us know, like, when somebody buys your package right now, for example, you can get an entire month of Crack for $199, all access. If somebody buys that 1 month package, what do you want that? What is your expectation of what they should be doing?
Well, first of all, $199. I've never sold a package for a month like that ever. This was WagerTalk's idea, so I let you guys go with it and see what happens. And now it actually can bring in the smaller bettors. So for a whole month, I don't care if you're betting, $80 a game. Now you can come in there and buy that package, betting $80 a game, $100 a game, because now you're within the realm of spending the money, that ROI you want it. If you're buying someone and spending $1,000 or something, if you're betting $50, $80 a game, it's not worth it. You have to overcome lots of things to get to show a profit. So, by the way, I didn't really announce this yet. Going to have a couple more futures up this week also at WagerTalk. Things that I haven't released yet. There still are, I'm not one to bet a lot of different things into an efficient market, but I still feel these future markets haven't been tapped into. I look at the lines across. I was looking today, speaking of scalps, literally between Circa and MGM right now, there's 7 different games. I'm sorry, futures you could scalp. If you have money, you could scalp and bet 2,000 each and lock up 10 cents to 20 cents on every one of the futures. Now I'm talking about season wins over and under. So that to me shows me one of them is wrong. And I hate to throw MGM under the bus because they're my Fox sponsor, but probably MGM. If Circa has something there, probably MGM. Just the right thing just to do is just bet the MGM side and go with it for 4 or 5 months. They have a nice ROI of probably double digits there. So I just this weekend I'm going to have, for the first time ever, Kel, I'm going to have NFL sides. I've never released NFL sides. I've had someone I worked with for 3 years, and 3 years he's given me his sides, and he won like 34, and he won like 50 units in 3 years. He won 18 units, 16 units last year, 18 the first year. I think he won 22 the second year. So he just gives me his plays on Monday mornings. Sometimes Sunday nights when the lines come out, and I just track them for him, and he does it. As a matter of fact, last year I bet him for him. He goes, "Can you bet me?" I don't want to tell you. Can you bet me $500 a play? So I bet him $500 a play. I said, "I'm not settling with you till the football season ends. I'm letting you know." So sure enough, he won 16 units after juice. I said, "You know what? I'm actually releasing these plays this year." I mean, the guy that's all he does is concentrate. NFL side Sunday night. He has lines up before the lines actually come out. So that I love that. I love a handicapper that actually puts a number on a game before the game comes out. That's real important, not to look at the line. Not all groups do that, but I like what he does. So I'm going to have some NFL sides for everybody. And I'll tell you one right now. Why? I don't know. I'm telling you one right now. Everyone loves Green Bay now. Oh my God, Green Bay!
Yeah.
They're all the big talkers, Green Bay, and they have the new trade with Parsons and stuff. Well, I want to tell you right now, I like Detroit in that game. I'm just waiting for a 3 to pop up there. The strong 2.5s out there. I'm going to probably take Detroit here. And no matter what, I'm still going to take the 2.5, but looking for a 3. And I like to buy sometimes the 3, but this particular 3, this year, these seasons aren't worth it what they were 10 years ago because of analytics going for two, the extra point being further behind. So it's not worth what it was. I just have to make sure that a shop only charges like 20 cents extra for the three. So Detroit's one of them. So I'm going to have some NFL sides this week. I'm going to have a lot of things up on WagerTalk that are not up right now. So there is some futures up there that, like you said, I have about 7 of them. However, I'm going to have at least a dozen plays here between college and pro that I haven't put up yet.
Perfect. $199 all access. WT.buzz/Krackman. That expires Tuesday night at midnight. So if you guys want to get involved with Crack for a longer term, that is the way to do it. As he mentioned, he doesn't sell plays this cheap. This was all Johnny Detroit's idea. Crack, one of the other things I wanted to touch on in this first episode, because the contests haven't kicked off yet. And as you know, I'm a contest junkie. I'm not betting that many NFL sides or totals during the season. I think it is a tough market to beat. I do very well. One play a week. My best bets historically have done very well in the NFL, and I have got to show discipline. My way of not showing discipline is seeing if I can get hot for a quarter, whether it's in the Circa contest, whether it's in the Super contest, whether it's in a college football or Survivor. The syndicates have really started to get involved with these plus EV contests. And I mean plus EV because there are massive overlays. There's also some stuff that I do with Splash, which is an online platform, Office Football Pool, Run Your Pool, now all on Splash Sports. They have a $2.5 million guaranteed. Huge overlay right now. We'll see what the next week unfolds. But kind of talk to me about the groups that you're working with. I know previously you've bought into some entries mid-season. What are you guys doing pre-flop for these contests?
Well, it's funny you said, I just want to check my email because I was ignoring some emails from Splash. I don't know if that, I really probably didn't realize who that was. I have countless emails from Splash coming in. And so that's legit. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry not to know what that is.
It's okay.
I seen it on there and I just didn't know, like I said, what that was. So that's good to know. But yes, contest. So I'm in the college contest at the Westgate, which is 7 picks every week against the spread. And yeah, so I am in this one. I have 8 entries in that contest. They're $500 each. I also have the max 10 entries in Survivor. So I do have the Survivor entries
at Circa or at Westgate.
Over at Circa. I also joined one at Westgate, $5,000. But the ones that I'm in over there, there's no overlay involved there.
Right.
Though. They're gonna reach their minimum. They're gonna go way over. They're gonna go way over the number with that. But I want to tell you what may be good. If I've talked about this on shows, Steve Fezzik's talked about it too. So if the Eagles lose on Thursday night, there's going to be people on, now that they're 7.5 point favorites, they're going to be on the Eagles for sure.
Oh yeah,
in that contest. Denver Broncos and the Eagles are the 2 plays they're going to be on. And I want to tell you, it's a good idea because you're going to have like maybe even 10% of the pool on the Eagles. And now you could join on Friday, and you may have a situation there where it's worth a lot more. I'll have more entries if the Eagles lose that game. I know people say, "Oh, the Eagles can't lose. How can that be a 7.5 point favorite?" Trust me, it can happen.
Divisional game.
Bengals division game. So I'm going to have many. I'm actually joining the Grandissimo also.
Are you?
Yeah, Thursday. Me with a group. It's funny. I just met my buddy. And like
I'm shocked. First of all, I'm shocked at how many people have already entered that. I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm like, holy
30,
cow!
I think there's 39. There's going to be.
That's
40.
a lot of money to shell out for a football season.
So my buddy, it's funny. My buddy yesterday says, "Okay, you're going to do." I say, "Yeah, I'm going to go down to the circuit tomorrow and do it." He like he gives me this is vacuum packed though. But look at it. I mean, I don't even understand. Look how small this little vacuum packed seal of $10,000 ticket.
Yeah.
And this is what, this is the best way. I always say it's the best way to carry 10,000.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so he has 30% of the pool. He hands me this and I'm like, how do I got to crack this thing open.
Yeah. You want to get some sharp scissors.
Yeah. I do have 2 other partners. So we're going in to the, to the Grandissimo. So it should be fun. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great season. And I love how our show started out today. I didn't know. By the way, people, I didn't know what the show was going to be about. I thought we were going to talk about like Vegas a little bit, the traffic.
No. If everybody wants to talk about Vegas, they need to go watch Cracks. Also on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. If they want to talk about behind the counter stuff, check out me and Kelly Murray. This is going to be me hanging out, rapping with Crack, 20, 30 minutes every Monday.
Weekend stuff. Yeah.
Yep. I want to talk about the weekend. I want to talk about where I'm making mistakes in some of my stuff. I'm not going to get into how awful my inaugural college football season was for the 3-team money line parlay, but I had 3 CLV trophies, 0 wins. Woof. Time to back it up, figure out where I went wrong in my process, regroup for next week. I wanted to talk a little bit of insight with you being new at WagerTalk and kind of letting people know who you are, introduce you to a new audience, and of course, get to hang out with one of my favorite Vegas people.
Yeah, even though we don't see each other in person a lot, for sure, we've always been very close, and I'm happy you moved. I'm happy you moved. Happy you're having fun in the sun. But it's no more fun in the sun now. It's football season, girlfriend.
It is absolutely football season. My tan is going to be gone before we know it. Crack, I hope to see you this fall in Las Vegas. I wish you very good luck in the contest. We're going to get into more of those every single week. Talk some strategy. As Crack mentioned, the Broncos and Eagles are going to be huge plays this week. So I'm going to dive in deep into Survivor. Crack, wt.buzz/Krackman over at wagertalk.com. Anything you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, that's it. Just make sure you're cool, calm, and collective. I know everyone's going to have a bet on Thursday night and on a side or a total. My thing is I'm going to have props, NFL props for almost every single game. Never mind the primetime games. Maybe bet a prop or two. Follow us there. You don't have to bet live and go crazy into betting double the juice, and you start. It's classic gambling. Yeah, you're firing on live wagering, which is one of the most biggest. It's literally the cult now behind everyone. I seen a big thing on responsible gambling. An article came out how everyone is live betting. So you don't have to do that. There's plenty of more game. There's plenty of days, for you to bet. You don't have to fire on Thursday night's game or Friday night's game. So just keep your bankroll management under control. And that's something I want to also tell the people. Thanks, Cal. This is fun. I look forward to it every week.
Thanks, Crack. We'll see you next week.